Hello everyone, the Kentucky Patriot here. I just like to bring you a quick video, and we hear a lot of talk and a lot of discussion about different topics, and I just want to give you my thoughts and opinions, and I want to tell you what I teach and why. And this is a debate that you hear a lot. You know, a lot on the gun forums, and a lot of different trainers and instructors teach this different. But I'm going to tell you what I teach and why. As guns and gun manufacturers make smaller guns, because there's a lot of folks, both men and women, really getting into concealed carry. They're getting their permits. They're really getting into the concealed market. So gun manufacturers, to accommodate us, are making guns smaller and smaller and smaller, easier to carry, more ergonomic, because the more comfortable to carry, the better off everybody is. Well, which is great, but as they make guns smaller, also then the magazine capacity is smaller. So there's you know, a lot of folks out there that are getting into what they call the tac reload or tactical reload. All that is basically reloading your weapon under stress. It's not at the range, you know, just simply putting your you know, bullets back in your magazine and shoot and do the process over. This is in a life and death situation. And there's a couple of different schools of thought on this, and there's a couple different techniques, but I'm going to tell you what I teach and why I teach this. You've got either the slide release method or what they call the gross motor skills, the slingshot. There's a lot of different, where you grab the slide and actually rack it manually. And I'm going to tell you what I teach and why I teach this. But before I do, let me say this real quick. If you aren't real happy with your magazine capacity, or you just feel more comfortable carrying an extra magazine, one thing I don't recommend or don't teach is when folks just put an extra magazine in their pocket, and I'll tell you why. Especially if you've got kids, you know how things can happen. You've got a piece of candy in there, you forget about it, a piece of gum, and it melts in your, and you don't want anything, you know, that can hurt your magazine, or just something simple as pocket lint. And the same thing with pocket carry. If you carry a pocket carry gun, I don't recommend you carrying one in your pocket without a holster. Because lint can get down in the barrel. Same thing with your magazine, lint can get in the magazine. Just things can happen that in a life and death situation that you don't need. So if you're going to carry extra magazines, they make concealable magazine pouches. There's other ways to carry them on your belt, on your person, that I think would be a little better option for you. But anyway, what they're talking about, or what folks mean on a tactical reload, is basically it's a life and death situation. You've had to draw, you've had to use your firearm, and then here the slide is locked back. You can see my weapon's clear. But so you have used every round that you have. You sent it down range, and it's went from bad to worse because now you're out of ammunition and there's still a threat, or there's multiple threats, or for whatever reason you're still in danger. So this is where the tactical reload comes in. And if you carry one on your let's say you carry magazines on your belt, concealed carry rig here, and be careful how you load them, because you don't want to be fiddling and fumbling and this getting turned the wrong way. You want to have them loaded right every time. So when you grab the magazine, you simply come up, and how you grab it's important too, because you don't want to grab it back here and then be trying to fumble. You don't want a fumble factor, because it's easy to drop, it's easy to miss, because this is really a life and death situation. This is there's shots already been fired, your life's in danger. What you want to be able to do is get a hold of that magazine, come up, grab it just like this. So basically, if you've got your finger right here, you've got the gun right here, you can put it in there every time without even looking. Because if you're down here doing this, your eyes are off the threat, who knows what can happen. So when I want to reload, you just come up, grab it just like this. You can do it every time without looking. And if you do fumble with it, if you're not real comfortable, you're not used to doing it, you can actually put your eyes down just this much, and you can still see with your peripheral vision what's ahead of you. But if you do need to look down, you can glance down. But if you grab it right every time with your finger like this, you're basically just, putting your finger right in that hole and shoving it in. Okay, now here's what I teach on the, after you've got the magazine, another magazine in, your slide locks back, you just seated a magazine. There's a lot of folks that'll teach the slide release. And mechanically it works. I've never seen it fail, never have. And some folks do it with a strong hand. Others don't like it. It keeps your thumb up there. That leaves it with a weak hand slide release. That then, once it releases the slide, with the slide release, it puts the chamber in the round. You're ready to go. But I don't teach that, and I'll tell you why. I have been myself at the range and tried to do the slide release and miss it. It's no big deal at the range, you just hit it again. But under stress, your adrenaline's pumping, you've just had to use your firearm, your life's in danger. That little tiny button is going to be, my thoughts and opinions are, that is going to be difficult to find in the heat of the moment, because as concealed carry permit holders, as somebody trying to protect your family or yourself or your loved ones, you don't get to pick the time. You don't get to pick the date. You don't get to pick the scenario. It could be 10 degrees outside and your fingers are cold. You could have gloves on. It could be 100 degrees and you could be sweaty. It could be dark. It could be raining. We never know. So trying to find that little button under stress when you're already, you want everything to go as smooth as possible. And these are scenarios you need to think about in training. If you're carrying extra ammo, it's how you carry it, being able to get to it, being able to reload it. And then once you reload it again, the slide's locked back. Can you find that thumb release on the slide? And once the magazine's out, you come up with one. Now here we go. What are we going to do? This is what I teach, and this is why I teach it. There's some folks that say, well, you're too slow, this is too slow. But if you train a little bit, there's no reason. Once you shoot that magazine, when you grab the slide, you just pull it back and you're in the fight. And here's the thing. As big as this is, you can grab this without looking. I can grab this, anytime, day or night. And that's a big old slide. And your motor control skills, as I've said in other videos, aren't near as keen. So instead of trying to find a little button, all you've got to do when your slide's locked back like this, you see the magazine, you come up, you're in the fight, and it's that quick, it's that simple. But instead of fumbling with a little button, you've got this great big slide to grab a hold of. And you've got big hands, it's so much easier to grab a hold of this slide and simply pull it back and come up than it is trying to find that slide release. And I know there's some great guys. There is some wonderful instructors out there that's highly trained, and they teach the slide release. But again, I'm not telling you the slide release won't work mechanically. What I'm telling you is most of those guys are highly trained. They're Delta Force operators, or they're highly trained. Well, we're not teaching SWAT. We're not teaching highly trained elite forces. I'm talking about the average Joe. I'm talking about the average man or woman, concealed carry person. I believe if you're carrying extra magazines and your slide locks back in a scenario that we've been talking about, I believe we are so much better off, and the percentage of success will be so much higher when you grab the slide and rack it. Because anybody can do that day or night, than it would be trying to find that little slide release in a stressful situation. Now, that's just my thoughts, that's just my opinions, that's just what I teach, and that's why I teach it. And we don't make these videos to be controversial. We don't make these videos to simply disagree with someone else. What we do is we make these videos to try to help you. And if you don't use my method, you don't use my technique, that's all right. But it's something to think about. For the average Joe, if you're carrying extra magazines, make sure you carry them the right way. Make sure you're able to grab them, seat them, and then if you'll practice that gross motor control skills, they call it, or some call it the slingshot method, or some call it just grabbing the slide and racking the slide, whatever method, how you want to, what name you want to give it. I think if you'll try it, you can seat a magazine really fast, you can rack it really fast, and it can be just like that, and you're right back into the game. And I think that will benefit you and help you more in a stressful situation than just the slide release alone. But try both ways, whatever works for you. Just trying to help you and your family. And may God bless you. The Kentucky Patriot signing off. And if you're not an NRA member, please join the NRA. Their convention's coming up in May. I think it's in my home state in Louisville this year. And I'm telling you, you will not regret it. It's a wonderful convention. They're wonderful, good people. May God bless you. The Kentucky Patriot signing off.